Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. Today is going to be another product review video. I was requested to review the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I have this in the shade 3 and I do have dry and dehydrated skin, so if you guys would like to see how this skin tint sits on my skin, then keep on watching. So a few facts about the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop is it retails for $32. They have 25 shades and it comes in a 1.08 fluid ounce. This is a squeezy tube bottle. I do really like the packaging. I think it's super nice and sleek, and it just has a squeezy tube like so. I do have it in the shade 3, and before I picked out my shade, I went to Ulta because Ulta does carry Fenty Beauty now, which is awesome, so you can get some Ulta rewards points. But I went to Ulta and I swatched 3 of the shades on my cheek, which I will insert a video or a picture I did take. I swatched the shades number 2, which is a light with neutral undertones, and this shade 3, which is a light with warm and neutral undertones, and I believe also number 5, which is a light medium with warm yellow undertones. And I think initially number 2 looked like it matched my skin a little bit better, but I decided to go with the 3 since I'm expecting to wear this more in the summer when I'm a little bit more tan. So just a few claims about the Fenty Eaze Drop. It is supposed to be an instant blurring skin tint, and it's supposed to be buildable, light to medium long wear coverage. It has a quick blur complex for hydrating diffused effect. It's supposed to smooth texture that layers well with primer and skincare. It applies well with fingers or a brush, and it is also humidity, sweat, and transfer resistant formula. So before application, I'm going to do a quick oxidation test, which means I'm going to swatch a fresh swatch on my cheek, and then I'm gonna let that dry for about 5 minutes and then do another fresh swatch right next to it to see if it darkens as it dries down. So I don't know if you noticed, but that fresh swatch does look a little bit lighter than the one that dried down. And when I did apply the skin tint the first couple times, I did notice that it did dry down a little bit darker. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're looking for your shade. So before application of the skin tint, I'm going to prime my face really well since I do have dry skin and this is more of a semi-matte finish. I went in with my Smashbox Primerizer water. This one is a really nice one. And then for application, I'm going to do a damp sponge on my left side and use a brush on my right side. On the website, it does recommend using a brush or your fingers. It doesn't mention a damp sponge, but I've tried it with my fingers and I feel like it just kind of moves the product around, so I'm not gonna do that, but we'll do a damp sponge and a brush so you guys can see the difference. Again, I have the shade 3 and I'll show you guys what it looks like coming out of the squeezy tube. So you can see it is on the runnier side, but it's not too like super liquidy like a serum type of foundation at all, and it's not too thick, so this is a really good sign, especially if you have drier skin. So the way I like to apply it is I like to thinly spread it out, but not actually like blending it in yet, just so that it really covers all the areas that I want it to, and then I can blend it out with my damp sponge. As you can see, it just helped to even out my skin a little bit and cover up that redness. And I'm just going to use a smaller damp sponge just so I can really get in these small areas of my forehead. So this is one layer with the damp sponge. I'm going to do this other side with a brush. This is actually the first time I've used a brush with this skin tint, so we'll see, maybe it might be better. Alright, looking up close, it actually looks really nice with a brush too. I mean, it doesn't look drying at all like usually foundations would look if I used a brush. I think I still prefer a damp sponge, but it works really well with the brush too. So this is one total layer of the Fenty skin tint. It just evened out my skin tone really well, covered up some redness, but I'm going to go ahead and build up another second layer and we'll try to get it to like a medium coverage. With the second layer using a brush, I'm noticing that it's looking a little bit cakier, so I'm gonna switch to my damp sponge. So yeah, I think I definitely prefer the damp sponge just because it helps with my drier skin. Immediately, the finish is definitely becoming more of a semi-matte. Alright, this is 2 layers of this Fenty skin tint. And just to look up close, I'm noticing that I do have some dry patches around my forehead or between my eyebrows here, and a little bit on my nose that it is clinging to a little bit. But other than that, I think it looks really pretty. I think this is one of my favorite like semi-matte face products that I've used in a while. Just because honestly I don't do semi-matte finishes at all, but this looks really nice. It is creasing a little bit on my smile lines and just a little bit around my nose, but other than that I think it looks really pretty. So my overall thoughts of the Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint is that I really like it, especially for a product that is more of a semi-matte finish. Especially having dry skin, I usually tend to go for more dewy, glowy foundations, but this sits really well on my skin. The only things I have to note is that it does cling on to my dry patches just a little bit, but that's only if you look really close. And it does settle in my smile lines and around my nose just the slightest, like the teeniest bit. But other than that, I think it sits on my skin really well. It feels very hydrating. It feels lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy. Even though I have 2 layers on, it doesn't feel like I have like foundation on my skin. I think it still looks really natural. It doesn't look cakey, and it looks like my skin but better, but in more of a semi-matte finish, which I really enjoy. And I think I'm really going to like this, especially in the summertime when I am less dry, and it's just gonna like look so good on my skin. So if you do have dry skin, I do still recommend it, but I do recommend that you prime and do your skincare really properly so that your skin is a really nice flawless base for this more semi-matte product to sit on your skin. I do really think it is a very blurring product, and it is very buildable. I could probably do a 3rd layer and see how that builds, but I think 2 layers is good enough for me. It does have a really nice light coverage if you do 1 layer, or a medium if you do 2 layers. It has no scent, which thank goodness, because I cannot do scents. It just gives me a headache. I do want to note that when I was applying this product, it really reminded me of the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator Tinted Skin Veil. I think I have a video of this posted. If I do, I will make sure to link it down below, but it feels very similar. It has the same kind of like semi-matte finish. It's more of a tinted moisturizer, tinted skin tint, but I don't think it's as good as a Fenty Beauty, but it's pretty close. I felt like this was a little bit too matte, a little bit too drying for my skin compared to Fenty. Fenty feels very hydrating compared to this, but I just wanted to mention that it kind of reminded me of this Wet n Wild product. But yeah, that is my review of the Fenty Beauty Eaze Skin Tint. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you guys did, make sure to give my video a like. I would really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any other recommendations of products you would like me to test out, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.